You didn't get here by accident. There's a secret that Thoth has guarded for millennia. A code that lets you talk to the universe and make it answer back. And I'm going to show you exactly how this works still in this video. But pay attention. 99% of people can't use this secret because they're vibrating the wrong energy without even realizing it. Today, you're going to discover how to break this block, and, if you stay until the end, I'll give you a final ritual that transforms your thoughts and gestures into real commands that bend reality around you. This isn't theory. This is practice. This is transformation. And if you walk with us to the very last second, you'll understand why the universe will never ignore you again. The universe is not outside of you. Look within. Everything you desire, you already are. The big mistake almost everyone makes is happening right now, while you listen to me, while you breathe, while you feel. It doesn't depend on whether you want it or not. It's already installed. And that's why, even without realizing it, even when you think you're manifesting something positive, your energy sends the universe a completely different message. Imagine someone sitting with their eyes closed, mentally repeating, "I am prosperous. I am prosperous. I am prosperous." They want to believe it. They want to convince themselves. But behind the words, there's a tightness in the chest, a hidden fear, a feeling that it's not true. And that's exactly what the universe is picking up on. It's no use saying 1,000 positive phrases if, inside, you feel lack, insecurity, anger, or hopelessness. Because in this game, the rule is clear. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you vibrate. And vibration isn't pretty poetry. Vibration is the raw, honest sum of what you feel while you're living, while you breathe, while you react to what happens in your daily life. When you think, "I want a new job, I want abundance, I want true love," but your energy is loaded with doubt, the signal you send is, "I don't have it, I don't deserve it, I don't trust." And the universe, this great mechanical mirror, responds to that command without question. It doesn't interpret hidden intentions. It doesn't read hidden thoughts. It simply amplifies what you emit. Think of all the times you thought you were doing everything right, thinking positive, visualizing, imagining. But then you saw the same bad patterns repeating. The same kind of difficult boss, the same complicated relationship, the same financial struggle that seemed never-ending. That wasn't bad luck. That wasn't punishment. That was the exact response to the vibrational field you were maintaining without realizing it. And here's the scariest detail. Most people go their entire lives without realizing they're the ones feeding the cycle. They ask for one thing with words and prayers, but live in a constant state of fear and lack. And the universe simply responds to the dominant frequency, not the superficial request. Want to know why so many bad coincidences happen in a row? It's not because the universe wants to knock you down. It's because you, without meaning to, reinforce the negative pattern every time you react with fear, every time you expect the worst, every time you cling to the old mental script that says, "This will never work." The universe doesn't judge you. It just reflects. Imagine a mirror. It won't give you a smile if you're frowning. It won't give you a hug if you're crossing your arms. It only gives back what's in front of it. And when your vibration is contaminated by fear, by insecurity, by lack, it simply amplifies that reflection. Not because it's cruel, but because it works by resonance. It's physics, not morality. And what no one told you is that this field doesn't adjust on its own. It doesn't change just because you want it to. It needs to be consciously reprogrammed. Because right now, even now, while you listen to me, there are forces inside your own body that are sabotaging your intentions. And they don't care what you wish for. They operate on a deep, almost automatic level, pulling you back to old vibrational patterns. And this is going to turn your inner world upside down when you understand how it works. These forces inside you, these invisible gears that pull your energy back to old patterns, have a name: attention. Yes, what you focus on daily, what you dive into mentally without even realizing, isn't just a pastime. It's a vote, a vibrational command, a code that infiltrates the fabric of your reality and starts shaping everything around you. Every time you let your thoughts slip to painful memories, every time you mentally revisit a conversation that hurt you, every time you surrender to imagined scenarios of fear or failure, you're not just thinking, you're programming. This might sound like an exaggeration, but it's not. Because attention, on an energetic level, is a precious currency. It's as if every second you mentally dedicate to something is feeding an invisible machine. And this machine doesn't care if you're thinking about it because you love it or because you hate it, if you're fixated because you want to solve it or because you can't let go. It only understands the command: feed this, multiply this, make this more present. And, almost cruelly, reality starts conspiring not to help you, but to reinforce exactly what's consuming your energy. Imagine this scenario. You read an aggressive message on social media, and instead of letting it go, you keep mentally repeating it all day. You relive the irritation. You reinforce the hurt. Without knowing, you're investing energy into a pattern. And it's not just psychological, it's vibrational. You've turned a simple, isolated event into a dense block of energy. And the universe, which responds to density and resonance, starts aligning more similar situations in your path. That's the real danger of mental loops. Now let's go further. Think about how current culture exploits this. Social media, the news, scandal cycles, everything is designed to capture your attention. To lock your focus precisely on the stories that drain you, that empty you, that put you in a constant state of alert. Not because there's a personal intention against you, but because attention is worth money, worth influence, worth control. And while you think you're just staying informed, keeping up with the world, you're actually letting your energy be sucked away and redirected to agendas that have nothing to do with your real life. The myth of the innocent thought starts to break here. There's no neutral thought. There's no harmless attention. Everything you focus on is gaining weight, form, influence. And this applies to what you want and to what you fear. Actually, especially to what you fear. Because fear is an incredibly powerful magnetic glue. It grabs your focus, it chains your gaze, it turns small worries into giant monsters that dominate the field of your consciousness. And while you try to push them away rationally, you're, without realizing, handing even more energy to them. But here comes the point that almost no one dares to touch. How to break this cycle. How to stop being a slave to your own mind, your own focus, your own patterns. It's not enough to say, think positive. It's not enough to try to force a good thought over a polluted internal scenario. There's a specific code, a key that needs to be turned at the right point, so the loops can finally start to disintegrate. And few spiritual masters have dared to teach this directly, because it requires something deeper than just words. The first hermetic key: how to stop sending contradictory signals. So, now we arrive at the first big key, the one that few people see even after learning about attention, vibration, and signals. Because here's the secret. Manifesting is not about asking. Manifesting is not about waiting. Manifesting is not about begging the universe to please give you what you want. Manifesting is becoming, right now, in this exact moment, the version of you who is already living what you desire. It's embodying. It's vibrating as if it's already happening. This is not some cheap mental trick. It's not an internal mind game. We're talking about a deep vibrational reprogramming that changes the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you make small decisions in daily life. A classic and deeply powerful example comes from Neville Goddard, one of the greatest manifestation masters of the last century. Neville didn't just talk about imagining good things, he practiced it with almost surgical precision. When he wanted to return to Barbados for Christmas, even without money or a ticket, he didn't just sit around wishing. He would close his eyes at night and imagine the sound of the waves, the smell of the island air, the feeling of sand under his feet. He would mentally fall asleep already being in Barbados, even though physically he was still in New York. The most surprising detail isn't the fact that he got the ticket back. It's the way he did it without anxiety. He wasn't begging. He wasn't thinking, "One day, maybe, if I'm lucky, this will happen." He was already there. He truly felt like it was real. And that's the point that changes everything. The universe doesn't respond to what you hope for in the future. It responds to what you embody now. See, when you say, "I want to be rich," the universe hears, "I'm not." When you think, "One day I'll find true love," the universe understands, "I don't have it now." But when you vibrate, breathe, and behave as if you're already living that, as if it's already yours, the energetic field around you starts to shift. Small choices change. Small details in the way you look at life change. And these details are magnetic. They start to pull new realities. This isn't magic. It's resonance. Here's a simple and powerful exercise. Before going to sleep, close your eyes and imagine not just the final scene of what you want, but the path. How would you wake up if you had already reached your goal? What would your body posture be? How would you walk? What decisions would you make? What would your attitude be? You would start living in a different way, even if nothing visible had changed yet. And that change in attitude is the seed of external change. Because when you become before you have, the universe understands that reality is already installed, and it reorganizes the rest to match. And here's where most people stumble. Not because they didn't understand the idea, not because they don't believe in the power of vibration, but because their own body can't sustain the necessary vibrational state. You can have the most disciplined mind. You can repeat beautiful affirmations every morning. You can visualize the best scenes at night before bed. But if your physical body is vibrating on another level, it contaminates the entire energy field. It drags you down like an invisible magnet. This isn't empty spirituality. It's pure biochemistry. Think of your body as an antenna. It's not enough to have good intentions if the antenna is broken or full of interference. And what are those interferences? They're in what you consume daily without noticing. Heavy food, loaded with processed stuff, excessive sugar, artificial products, intoxicate not just the body, but also the subtle field. It's like trying to pick up a clear transmission using a rusty radio. It might even work, but the static will cover the message. Besides that, there's the environment factor. You can have the best intentions, but if you live surrounded by negative stimuli, constant noise, visual chaos, draining relationships, the frequency you're trying to maintain starts to wear out. It's like holding a full glass of water trying not to spill, while everyone around you is shaking your hand all the time. There comes a point when, no matter how focused you are, the vibration slips. Another detail that almost no one considers is the rhythm of modern life. People live trapped in tight schedules, packed agendas, endless demands. They wake up with their hearts already racing, already thinking about what they need to solve, what's going to go wrong, what they need to control. This rhythm generates an internal state of chronic tension, and chronic tension doesn't match high vibration. A body constantly on alert, constantly draining energy to deal with real or imagined threats, can't sustain a clean broadcast to the universe. Now here's a point that even science is starting to confirm. Sun exposure, conscious breathing, living foods. All this is not just a physical health recommendation, it's energetic recalibration. The sun, for example, activates biological processes that influence the production of serotonin, dopamine, melatonin, regulating mood, sleep, sense of well-being. A mind that doesn't sleep well, that doesn't connect to natural light, that lives artificially, starts to operate in a noise field that blocks vibrational clarity. The same goes for breathing. Most people breathe poorly. They breathe shallow, fast, disconnected. They don't know that the simple act of extending the breath, of connecting the movement of air with bodily awareness, can immediately change the energetic field around them. This isn't esotericism, it's heart coherence, it's regulation of the autonomic nervous system, it's biofeedback. When you learn to breathe consciously, you regain a control that seemed lost. And of course, food comes in here not as dietary moralism, but as vibrational intelligence. Living foods, full of solar energy, carry a cleaner, stronger electromagnetic field. Eating this isn't just feeding the body, it's tuning the signal, it's reducing the static, it's strengthening the antenna. Do you see how everything is connected? It's not enough to want to change from within if what you're offering your body is sabotaging the field all the time. But there's something even deeper, something few people understand, even after correcting diet, breathing, and environment. There's an ancient secret hidden in gestures, in the hands, in the body, as a direct transmitter of energy. A code that Thoth knew and taught, but that few modern practitioners really apply. And that's what we're going to start opening up in the next part, because that's where you'll discover how to use not just your mind, but your entire body as a tool for vibrational manifestation. The lost code of Thoth. To charge and direct energy. Imagine that up until now, everything you've learned about manifestation, energy, and vibration was just the surface. You might have heard about positive thinking, meditation, visualization. But Thoth, the Hermetic master, guarded a much deeper secret, something few today even imagine. The body is the key. The body, not just as a container or a tool, but as a living transmitter, a high-precision instrument to directly shift the vibrational field around you. And the hands, specifically, are the antennas that activate this process. Look at your hands right now, feeling every line, every palm, every fingertip. Have you ever thought of them as anything more than mechanical instruments? They are direct extensions of your energetic field. According to Thoth, every gesture you make, every touch you create, every intention you channel through your hands creates a unique vibrational signature. We're not talking about superstition. We're talking about a vibrational code that spans millennia, capable of moving energy from the inside out and the outside in. Let's get into the detail. When you rub the palms of your hands, you generate heat. But it's not just physical heat, it's energetic friction. A field starts to form there between the fingers in the palm lines, pulsing, vibrating. When you pull your hands slightly apart, even if just a few centimeters, you feel something subtle, almost imperceptible to the naked eye, but intense on the sensation level. A pressure, a light resistance, a pulsing. That's your energy in action. And this is where Thoth's secret begins to reveal itself. He taught that by using specific gestures, you could amplify intentions. For example, if you want to solidify a powerful decision, place your hands on your solar plexus, that point just above your stomach, the center of your personal power. Hold them there, feeling the heat concentrate. This gesture isn't an empty symbol. It directly activates the energy center responsible for command and action. If, on the other hand, you want to open space to receive, raise your arms to the sky, palms open, like antennas seeking a signal. In that moment, your whole body becomes a receiving station, ready to pick up new frequencies. And if you want to seal a decision, close a cycle, take on a commitment, close your fists with intention, feeling the energy circulate and condense, turning into a vibrational promise. All of this needs to be done with awareness, because it's not enough to just mechanically repeat gestures. The secret is in the combination of intention, movement, and sensation. When you think, feel, and move your body at the same time, you create an alignment so powerful that the universe responds not as coincidence, but as an inevitable answer. The body becomes the tool that turns thoughts into clear vibrational commands. This code wasn't designed to be kept only in ancient texts. It was made to be lived, experienced, felt. And that's why so few people access this power today, because they live disconnected from their own bodies. They're trapped in the mind, in words, in distractions. They forget that the hands aren't just flesh and bone, but direct interfaces with the universal energetic field. When the universe really starts to respond, and synchronicities explode. And this is exactly where many people give up before crossing the line, because it's not enough to understand the body as an antenna. It's not enough to practice conscious gestures for a few days and expect the universe to change instantly. Thoth knew, and the ancients also knew, true change requires consistency. That's why there's the 30-day protocol, a practical system that wasn't created to sound pretty or serve as emotional placebo. It was designed to completely recalibrate your vibrational field, clear out the noise accumulated over years, and install a new frequency that the universe immediately recognizes. Imagine waking up on the first day of this protocol and, before touching your phone, before diving into the external chaos, going out into natural light, direct sunlight on your face, relaxed eyes, exposed skin. This isn't just about getting vitamin D. This is a vibrational transmission between you and the solar field, the energy source that feeds all life on Earth. This simple act, repeated daily, begins to adjust biological rhythms, hormones, the body's magnetic field. In just a few days, your internal clock resets. Now add to that conscious breathing. Not that rushed breathing you do without noticing, but a specific pattern. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7 counts, exhale for 8 counts. This sequence has been studied both by ancient masters and modern scientists. It regulates the nervous system, calms the mind, aligns the vibrational field. And in the protocol, this breathing isn't a side note. It's the foundation. Food also comes in strong. Living, fresh, colorful foods, full of solar energy. No ultra-processed, packaged, dead products. Every one of your cells is fed by what you put on your plate. Eating dead food generates dead energy. Eating living food generates a living field. Sounds simple. It is, but few stick with it. And here, by day 10, the first changes start. The body feels lighter, the mind less clogged, intuition sharper. By day 15, things get serious. You start noticing that certain old habits just don't fit anymore. That automatic urge to scroll social media for hours disappears. Empty conversations feel more irritating than ever. The body wants movement. And it's not for aesthetics, not out of obligation. It's because the energy building up inside you demands release, demands expression, demands action. Reaching day 21, the transformation hits a point of no return. You start noticing synchronicities popping up. People you haven't seen in years reappear with unexpected messages. A book falls off the shelf at the exact moment you're thinking about an answer. An opportunity shows up from an unlikely place. It's not magic, it's not coincidence. It's resonance. You've tuned your field for so long, with so much consistency, that now the external reality has no choice but to respond. But only those who are ready make it here. Only those who stick with the protocol, day after day, even when it feels tiring, even when there seem to be no visible results, are the ones who cross the veil and reach the point where reality starts to bend. Because here, we're no longer talking about small internal changes. We're talking about tangible, concrete results, about answers that show up almost out of nowhere, but were planted in each of those 30 days. And it's at this exact point that the universe starts talking to you out loud. Synchronicities explode. You think of someone and they call. You talk about an old dream, and suddenly someone mentions an opportunity linked to it. You walk down the street and encounter such a specific sign that it can no longer be ignored. It's not just luck, it's alignment. It's the field returning exactly what you installed. The most impressive part is realizing that these answers don't show up for those who just tested out of curiosity, for those who tried for a few days and quit. They show up for those who gave themselves fully, for those who went through the ups and downs of the process, for those who accepted transformation. Because energetic tourists don't reap these results. Only those who plant a definitive flag within their own field start to see the universe respond with almost surgical precision. How to command energy with your hands and change the field around you. And this is where the big shift happens. The moment when you stop being just a curious visitor in this energetic field and decide to plant your feet, become a resident, take your place as a conscious co-creator of your own reality. Up until now, maybe you've tested vibrations, done exercises, followed protocols. But there comes a point where that's no longer enough. There comes a moment when it's no longer about looking for signs from the universe, but about being the sign yourself, vibrating so aligned, so consistently, that reality has no choice but to reorganize around you. You start realizing that there's no more room to go in and out of this state, depending on your mood, depending on when problems show up, depending on when fatigue hits. There's no more halfway. It's a point of no return. Either you inhabit this energy as your new home, or you'll keep spinning in the cycle of restarting, testing, getting frustrated and giving up. And this is where most people get lost. Because taking on this vibrational residency means living as if you already are, all the time. Not just on inspired mornings, not just in moments of conscious practice, but in simple conversations, in small choices, in quiet hours, even in challenges. When you decide to be the signal, every step you take, every glance, every word carries a clear vibrational signature. You're no longer waiting for the miracle. You are the miracle in motion. You're no longer testing if something works. You already know it works because you feel it in your body, because you notice it in the details, because you carry the conviction not as a theory, but as a living frequency. And the universe, when it encounters this stable field, responds not just with timid echoes, but with strength, with precision, with opportunities that seem to sprout from nowhere, because you've become a constant vibrational magnet. But to seal this transformation, there's one last step, a circle that needs to be closed, the ritual of energetic command. This isn't just an external ritual made of empty movements or memorized words. It's a deep meeting between body, mind, and energy, where the hands, those vibrational antennas forgotten by most, return to play their essential role. In this ritual, the focus is total. You start by activating your hands, rubbing them until they generate heat, feeling the energy pulsing between them. This heat isn't just physical. It awakens awareness of what has always been there, ready to be used. With your hands charged, you learn to direct this energy. Over your heart, you send commands of emotional alignment. Over your solar plexus, you reinforce decisions and intentions. Over your head, you clear mental patterns, open space for new ideas. Every gesture matters. Raising your arms up high, not like someone who's begging, but like someone who's declaring, I receive, I command, I claim. Clenching your fists with intention, sealing a vibrational commitment that doesn't depend on words, only on presence. Circling your hands around your body, noticing the energetic fields that used to go unnoticed, now coming alive under your command. In this process, what Thoth taught reveals itself with sharp clarity. It's not enough to know the codes. You have to practice them in the body, feel them in your blood, Encode them into daily action. Only then does the field around you bend. Only then do synchronicities multiply. Only then does life start to revolve around your new vibrational center. And when you finish this ritual, there's no going back. You're no longer someone who just thinks about energy. You've become the field itself, the transmitter, the vibrational creator. And the next step now is to go even deeper, because there are deeper layers waiting to be unlocked, layers that can be activated at the next level of this journey. If you've made it this far, I want to hear from you. Write in the comments, "Universe, I'm ready for you to hear me," to show that you're ready to apply this secret in your life. I'll be there reading and feeling the energy of every person who declares this. Oh, and if you want to help the channel more directly, so we can spread even more content like this around the world, there's a pinned link in the first comment where you can contribute. Or, if you prefer, right here on YouTube, there's the "Thanks a lot" button. Every bit of help strengthens our chain and keeps this work alive. Gratitude for walking this path together. And hey, don't leave the video now. A special video was set aside just for you, so we can continue this journey together and you can go even deeper into everything that started awakening here. Just click on the video that's showing on the screen. I'll be waiting for you there so we can keep this transformation going.